my speeches, and now we're going to have the floor debate. How's it going to work? If people want to ask questions, we're going to take a couple of questions and then allow both sides to quickly come in on those, and then go again to take a couple of questions. People can give their names before they ask their questions. I can write down their questions, and they can be running for the lovely prize of Trolley Grimble. Yeah. Okay, cool. Who's got any questions? Yeah.
Hello, my name's David. Firstly, second speaker from Republic, you talked about the problem of royal prerogative power, and you made the analogy of comparing us to Korea. Well, I think royal prerogative powers actually illustrate a different point there, because they're currently vested in the Prime Minister, but you say you don't believe in an executive president. Where do those royal prerogative powers go in your vision?
Okay, and one more question. Yeah.
My name's Cyril. The last speaker said that when the President of Germany goes abroad, nobody takes any notice, whereas when the Queen goes abroad, everybody queues up in the streets. Well, it's funny, why is it that the people across the world do so much more business with Germany than with Britain if the Queen is so good for our business?
Okay, does my opposition want to come in on this?
Yes, thank you, David, for that question. The point about the royal prerogative powers is that there's no democratic scrutiny of them, no democratic control whatsoever. The Prime Minister can exercise them more or less as he likes. Now, where they would vest in a Republican's constitution is the details of that constitution, and we're campaigning, by the way, for a referendum by 2025. The details of that constitution lie a few years hence. So we're not going to get restricted and say where they should, but wherever they do lie, there will be democratic control and scrutiny of them. Those exercising power, like in, if you want to talk about America, although they have an executive president, he is subject to the legislature. He can't just act on his own. He can't commit troops on his own. He can't have a budget on his own. So I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, I'll come back on the trade and the constitution issue. I mean, firstly I'd say that you could probably take issue with royal prerogative and still be a monarchist. I mean, there are many things we could do to democratise our constitution that doesn't necessarily involve abolishing an unelected neutral head of state. Which I'm sure we'll go on to discuss it in detail in a bit. The bit about trade, I mean, the reason countries do more trade with Germany, I don't think you can blame that exclusively on Elizabeth II. I think there might be some other factors at play. In fact, they have a bigger economy and more people might have something to do with it. But I think it was Macmillan who once said that the Queen does more for British diplomacy in a day than a politician could do in a lifetime. And I think that's true, and I don't think anyone can really argue. It's a bit special when the Queen comes to visit, and it's a little, whoever the President of Germany is this week, because they keep resigning because they're all a bit corrupt, as politicians tend to be. But look, I mean, I know she's the Queen of Australia, so it's perhaps not the most unbiased argument I could think of. But look at the people, over thousands of people in Perth and Queensland and Sydney to see a woman who spends most of her time living in London. It is evidently special when any member of the royal family comes to visit. And I think that's great. For Britain, it's great that they're waving the Australian flag and the Union flag. It's great that people are going to places that we occasionally have shaky relations with, like in the Middle East. People still come out and give her a warm welcome. And the idea that would happen with President Cameron or something, I just think absolutely ridiculous. I think it's a great thing.
Okay, any more questions from the floor? Yeah? Henry, yeah.
Yeah, Henry. Okay, so I think I see all the things she's trying to move towards a society in which people can make up their lives what they will, and people don't have a certain path sharp to them because of who they are, whether it's through being well sharp on or because they're railroaded into a certain career path. So when the British ideal, the British brand, is totally contradictory to this view, because it's based on the idea of privileging people usually in their birth and forcing people to do something to what they were born into, how do we then achieve what I think everybody in this room probably wants to achieve in society? And surely it stands in the way.
Okay, other questions?
Darren. I wanted to ask you, you brought up the one point about the human rights of the child that's currently, the Duchess of Cambridge is currently carrying. I'm not sure if you ever, in the United States of America, the Obama's children were subject to the campaign by the National Rifle Association about the security that they get during the gun control debate. So it doesn't really matter if it's either a monarchy or a presidential system. If the gossip magazines or a bunch of right-wing racist gun nuts want to make a campaign out of either the families of either of the president or of the Queen, then there's still going to be fair game no matter what system you have.
Yeah, just on Henry's point about what kind of society we're trying to achieve. God knows what you're thinking. The point really is that, yeah, okay, I think that there's an argument there if you're advocating a sort of pseudo-socialist dictatorship there. But to be honest, I'm not really a fan of those. There is a key point here, and that is ultimately that the monarchy is representative of what? The hereditary principle, inherited wealth, all that kind of stuff. But unless you're going to go, the principle only really stays, your argument only really stays if you're going to go across the whole country and stop people from passing wealth onto their children, stop people passing contacts and connections and ensuring their children get jobs. There is far greater inequality in the free people, the free masses of this country than there is in the institution of the monarchy. It just doesn't make any sense. It's a tiny part of a problem that you perceive. It's got very little to do with the monarchy.
And just very quickly, because I'm sure you're itching to get back. I mean, the idea that if this was elected, a lonely Hovis bread carrying, bicycle riding chap from Manchester would be able to rise to the role of the presidency. I mean, that would be lovely. But the simple fact of the matter is that often who wins a presidential election, whether executive or non-executive, is people who've got the most money. People rarely get into politics without having some sort of financial start. And one of the best things about the monarchy is that some, and also, you sound like a conservative, don't think that, especially with who's in the current Conservative Party. I'm not a conservative, but that just came into my mind. But the best thing is that we can't get some conservative orange businessman with slightly grey bits in his hair here, spending all his personal income on becoming the head of state. And I think that's actually quite a good thing. It keeps business out of the role of the head of state.
So can I come back on? Let's come back on Aaron's point of view first of all. There is a difference. This child that will be born will be in a global basically for 60 years potentially before it becomes head of state or more. The situation with the President of America is that it's a short term, and presumably a lot of these presidents, when they get to a certain age, will we have those children, they know that they're getting involved with those children. So I think it's a slightly different issue. Just coming back on this this idea that this political issue, 95% of the people tell us on the streets that we don't want another politician, right? So it's fair to say we won't vote for one, okay? I repeat that this country is full of talented people from all walks of life. I mean, I'm not going to mention names, but, I don't know we've got David Attenborough, I'm not still on the Republic side.
Or Tony Blair.
Or Tony Blair.
It's not on the Republic website.
Yes, very interesting to hear that Mr. Pepper is not a Conservative, perhaps certainly not a Socialist. Although you don't have to be a Socialist to be a Republic supporter. If you are, it might help. But no, I joke. You don't really. We have people from all three main political parties and people like myself and Ray that are members of no political party. But the point is, the monarchists try and get bogged down in in little tiny itty-bitty details. And frankly, we're not really interested. It doesn't matter what, at the end of the day, Ray did a very good job of debunking some of the monarchist propaganda that we're constantly conditioned by. But it really doesn't matter if they are model people that live entirely on their own substantial investment income without drawing a penny from the public purse. It wouldn't matter if they spent every spare moment of spare time handing out food parcels in food banks and helping clear landmines in Angola. It wouldn't matter if they did that. We still wouldn't want them because we haven't chosen them.
Here, here.
That's the point.